You may notice that I look a little different, and that's just because I'm wearing a full face of foundation. It's Pride Month. I'm excited. Are you excited? So I really wanted to honor this month in a way that like fits me. I was really debating something more wearable and like that would be really cool to get you guys some inspiration to go out into the world. But I think I just want to like be creative and just like do my thing and like go to the skull route. So via the interwebs, I've obviously seen like a bunch of neon skulls. I've seen rainbow skulls and like all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to kind of combine the two of them together because I've never really done either one of those two things. And I kind of wanted to just make something like rainbowy up and kind of make it my own and like have some pride fun with it. But since I don't know exactly what I'm doing and I haven't done this before, I think I'm going to do a voiceover for this tutorial. And I'm just going to kind of sit here with my music and like have my me time and kind of just like come up with something. But in the future, I really do like being able to talk to you one-on-one, but just to shorten this video and just to kind of stay focused, since I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm going to kind of make it up as I go. I think I'm going to voice over this. If you guys are wondering how I got my face to be so full coverage, I used the Makeup Forever HD foundation, and then I topped it with the Matte Velvet Skin powder foundation, just to really pack that on there and to tone down my beard. Because Pride is this weekend, I was going to shave for this video, but then I'm like, wait, Pride's on Sunday. I'm going to look like a potato mole rat. So I'm just going to wear a bunch of foundation just to kind of tone down the color, and hopefully the pigment will pick up better. But if you don't have a beard, this will look so much better. But without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into the video and let's get to it. Okay, starting off with the Aqua Excel White Liquid Eyeliner by Makeup Forever, we're just going to start off with two triangles right at the cupid's bow of the mouth. And I'm just going to keep those pretty even. It's pretty self-explanatory there. This whole step is just kind of outlining the overall design for the makeup, which is going to help you stay focused. It's relatively important. I would say definitely do this for sure, but it's not also the final shape. You can still tweak it, which is why I'm using a white, because it's easy to remove without disturbing any makeup. From there, you're going to take more teeth and you're going to start to just create them from the inside outward. And you can see I'm creating each tooth like a little bit higher than the tooth before it. And that's because ultimately I want a diagonal forward line for the overall makeup, because it'll look elongated and elevated, which is like true of drag makeup, wing eyeliner. It just pulls the face upwards and it won't make your face look wide. And now I'm just continuing to create the teeth, starting with the bottom and the top. The only thing I want to note for you guys is that you do want to create a tooth. If there's like, you want an even amount of teeth on the top and the bottom. You want them to match up, because when we do the rainbow effect, we're going to do the same colors on the top tooth and the bottom tooth. So you want them to be able to match up to create a rainbow around the mouth. From there, I'm just taking some squiggly lines, and if you guys are, if skulls are a little bit difficult for you, you guys can just like take a screenshot and follow my exact design, but you just want to create a cheekbone, and then from that cheekbone you create a bottom jaw, and I'm doing that with that same white eyeliner. And then of course the traditional nose shape. Boom boom. I haven't done a voiceover in forever, it's crazy. Now I'm going in with this blush by Becca, and it's a red color. It's like, I couldn't find a red eyeshadow to save my life, like a true red. This is the best I could find, but this is by Becca, and I'm just taking a small smudge brush, and I'm right exactly over that white line we created, creating the first red tooth. And then the tooth next to it will be orange and then yellow and vice versa, and it'll keep going. So you want to just cover up that shape to create that diffused, blended out, pigmented color. And then when we create the white line on top of that, that's what's going to kind of create that illusion of a neon sign or neon makeup. Next, I'm going with the Jack and Hill palette, because it's like the only true vibrant orange I could find. I don't know if these are still on sale anymore, but any eyeshadow will do. I can't expect you guys to have every single product I use, but any orange eyeshadow will do. And then the next tooth, we're going to create orange, and then we're going to create that Roy G. Biv gradient across the mouth. You feel me? I always say you feel me in voiceovers. I don't know if you guys remember. Now I'm going with the Alyssa Edwards palette for the last three shades, and I'm going in with the yellow one, and I'm just going to apply that right on top of that white line. You guys can see, you don't use the color around the entire tooth. Now I'm going in with green. You don't use the color around the entire tooth. You guys can kind of see I'm only doing one side, and then I'm doing the peak triangle. It's not, the color isn't perfectly wrapping around. You want to blend the colors kind of together to create that gradient. It's not really like red tooth and then orange tooth. They kind of blend as best as you possibly can. And then I'm just continuing on again. This is also from the Alyssa Edwards palette. I'm going in with the blue, and then I'm going with that perp. So now I'm starting the rainbow over, and I felt that pink blended in with purple a little bit better to then transition into red. So I did throw in a pink one here to then segue back into red, and then to go back in with orange, and then into yellow, and then continue back with that traditional Roy G. Biv format. So you guys can see that I just felt that pink was in there. So if you guys have a pink eyeshadow too, I would suggest, I mean, the red would have looked fine. I just thought like pink would, give it a little extra flair. But now you guys can see I'm just taking these same eyeshadows and going along that line. And I'm making it wider than the line is too as well, because the line is kind of the guide of where the white will be. Now with the blending brush, I'm just diffusing all of that. So again, the neon sign is kind of the goal. So you want that diffused light. So I'm kind of blending it upwards. I'm not really worrying about it on the bottom section of that line because that's where the hollows of the skull will be. So we're going to add grays and blacks to kind of deepen that. So you don't have to worry about that being too blended. But then I'm just doing the same thing on the bottom teeth line. So again, I'm using the same color of the tooth on front of it, above it, I'm sorry, just to create that rainbow effect and really have it, that solid, rainbow flag right in your mouth. And then again, to just continue it onwards into that top of the bottom jaw. And then of course, to then do the jawline all around it, but leave the nose white for now. So I'm going back in now with that white eyeliner and I'm going to trace the lines again, and that's going to help really solidify what the final makeup look is going to look like. You guys might notice in the final that there are like a lot of sharp lines and the teeth have that like elongated, like almost like a wing eyeliner effect. I don't put those in yet because I still want to do some eyeshadow work. You want to kind of do that at the end. So you build like a little bit as you go. You guys might also notice that I'm dipping the applicator back into the product every single tooth, and that's because I want them to be true and pigmented white as possible. Even with the best white eyeliner in the world, if the product is too dry and there's not enough on the applicator, it'll be kind of sparse and it'll just move weird and push weird. So you do want to be diligent and take your time with this and dip it back in every time, no matter which eyeliner you use. So I just did the same thing on the top that I did on the bottom, and then now I'm going in with those same eyeshadows in the bottom teeth, and then I'm creating that point too on the bottom teeth where you can see it, where your chin doesn't get in the way, and then just re-enhance some of those colors and get that pigment, nice and pigmented. Since this isn't an eyelid and it's not prepped and primed like an eyelid usually is, you do have to work with the eyeshadows a little bit more and just layer them and just kind of add more, especially the yellow. Yellows are tough, but just with a couple layers it'll be perfect. So now I'm taking a blending brush and I'm going to go in with those same eyeshadows and I'm just going to re-enhance the bottom jawline that I did off camera, and you want to just push more pigment in there and kind of swoop it upwards into that jawline. Since we're not painting any white as the bones, the color is kind of the bone. So I just wanted to have the makeup have more interest and to really just pull that upwards so you get that, that color. So now with a gray eyeshadow, I'm taking one from MAC that was in a limited edition palette, but any light eyeshadow, you want to just go in and start shading the hollow points of the skull. The reason why I'm using a gray is because I'm going to go in with a black later on, and if you use 2 colors to add dimension, there will be more dimension. If you use 3 colors, then there'll be more dimension. It's the same logic that is applicable in cut creases or crease work. You always put it in transition shade, and then you deepen it up with a color right in the crease to add that movement and that shape, and I'm just doing that same thing, but just in a skull, more demonic way. So you want to go in and just blend in that gray and just create separation between the top jaw and the bottom jaw, and then underneath where the makeup ends and all that stuff, and it's going to add dimension, and then go in with the black to further that dimension in that shadow. So now I'm going with a small detailed brush, and I'm going to take that same gray eyeshadow and I'm going to apply that in between the top and bottom row sets of teeth. That's going to help separate the two of them together. Two of them apart from one another. And you can also take this opportunity to use that eyeshadow to kind of shape the final shape of the bottom of the top row of teeth and then the top of the bottom row of teeth. I really hope that makes sense, but just to get that shape in there. Now I'm going back in with that white eyeliner and I'm creating kind of like the wingtip of each tooth. Now that the blending work is kind of finished and it'll stay a little bit more true, I'm taking that top of the tooth to flick it into the eyeshadow that we created that goes upwards, which kind of then creates that dimension of that like a gum line and like the separation between 2 teeth, and I think it looks pretty cool. And then since we did so much blending and more line work, I'm just going back in with that same liner and just redoing everything that we did. Then with that eyeshadow, the gray one, I'm taking that and I'm just going to drag that from the inner corners of the eyebrows down to the nose to create that nose contour. And then with that same gray eyeshadow, I'm filling in the teeth. I debated this for the longest time. I don't know if I should just use concealer to make it skin tone, or if I should use like a sparkly eyeshadow, or if I should just, put black in there. So I decided to go with just like a light gray, just to kind of help each tooth stand out. So now I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild highlighter. palette, and I'm going to use the lightest one, the top left, to create highlight in all of the high points of my face, and it's going to be nice and shiny. So this works out great for me because I have a little bit of a medium skin tone, so this highlighter is too light for me. This is like what it would look like if you used a highlighter that was wrong for the client or the person you're putting it on. But if you have a lighter skin tone than I do, I would go in with like the whitest highlighter that you could possibly find, because this also acts not only as a highlighter in the sparkly sense, but also as a highlighter in the opposite of a shadow. And now I'm just going to really quickly, I'm taking the Anastasia palette, the Alyssa Edwards Anastasia palette, and I'm just going to create like a really quick, super intense smoky eye, and I'm just going in with the pink from that palette in the inner corner and just blending that into the crease, and then grabbing the purple and then have that segue in the center, and then finish it off with the blue on the outer corner. You guys know that my hooded eyes just don't hold eyeshadow for very long, so I'm just like throwing it on. And that's pretty much it for the eyes. It's mostly crease and brow work, but then I went into that same highlighter that I used on my face, and I put it in the inner corner, and then I also put it on the mobile eyelid, which is free of any pigment. And then with that same pink, I'm now brushing that up into the brow bone, straight over the brows, just to create a little bit of like a furrowed brow line. And then from then on, I'm going to create a little bit of a rainbow. I didn't include this in the video because I just put black eyeshadow and black eyeliner on. You've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times, so just throw in some eyeliner and then go in with that rainbow gradient, and then just keep going. You'll see that I reapply the eyeshadows often, because with blending and working them all together, like the yellows and the oranges and the green they kind of fade first when pigments like pink and purple kind of stand a little bit stronger. So you want to just keep layering and redoing it until you get that segued gradient. How many times have I said gradient in this video? One too many. Once you get that gradient down, I'm going to go back in with the Aqua eyeliner from Makeup Forever, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a traditional skull eye socket shape. You guys will notice that I don't carry it all the way around a full circle. I just kind of do the top brow bone line, and then I create two like little, I would say like V's around the bottom inner corner and outer corner of the eye. So you can see me doing it right here. Just create like a little bit of a V shape on the inner corner, and then again on the outer corner, create a little bit of a outer corner V shape. And I think that's nice. It's, it's done. And then these are the last two steps, my friend. I'm just taking a little bit of gray eyeshadow and applying it to the nose, and then reapplying that highliner, which is again Anastasia Moonchild, and just on all the high points of the face. And that adds shine, since everything else is kind of matte, other than the inner corner. I think it's really fun. Super Pride. If you wear this out, I love you. But yeah, it'll catch the light, and I think it's really cool and adds that like skull dimension and that sheen. Yeah, look at that. Wow. But yeah, that's a finished tutorial, my friends. I really hope that you guys liked it, and bear with me in my creative. Obviously, this isn't very wearable. I was going to do wearable, but I love this. So definitely subscribe and all that stuff, and follow me on social, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Happy Pride, friends. Bye.